All Progressive Congress has stated that it is not bound by the Rivers High Court judgment that reinstated its dissolved chief Emeke Beke-led Senate Executive Committee, as it was not a party to the suit. Mr. Festus Fonta, the party's deputy national secretary, made the statement while speaking to journalists on Thursday in Abuja following the National Working Committee's closed-door meeting. Recall that the Rivers High Court has dismissed the APC Tony Okocha-led caretaker committee and reinstated the dissolved Beke-led executive. Fonta explained that Beke, who was reinstated by the court, had previously been removed by another court and had filed an appeal but chose not to await its outcome, instead engaging in an abuse of court processes. He said, "We wish to categorically state and inform the public that the APC is not bound by the judgment delivered by the Rivers High Court in suit number PHC 3592CS 2023, which reinstated the dissolved State Executive Committee. The claimant in the said case sued the national chairman and national secretary, but not the party itself. You cannot sue an agent of a disclosed principal. Furthermore, there is a valid and subsisting court judgment against Chief Emeke Beke and Ihanyichukwu Azubike, former Rivers APC chairman and legal advisor, respectively, wherein they were removed from office," he explained. The APC Deputy National Secretary added that a court judgment, ruling, or order was not binding on a person or organization that was not a party to the suit. He emphasized that in light of this, the party only recognized its Tony Okocha-led Rivers Caretaker Committee, established to oversee its affairs in the state. He confirmed that the party's National Working Committee had scheduled its National Executive Committee meeting for September 12, subject to the approval of President Bola Tinubu, the party's national leader. According to Fonta, the National Working Committee discussed the issue and agreed that the party's caucus would meet on September 11 ahead of its next meeting. Tonya, what is your reaction to this story?
You know, I wouldn't want to... There are certain things that when you hear them, it calls for concern. On one breath, you are going to court to get judgments. On another breath, you are coming to the public brazenly to say that a court judgment is not binding on you. Are you now the judge, or are you now the judiciary? You know, when leaders make some pronouncement or make some statements, it calls for concern, because if leaders at that level will come out openly to say that a court judgment is not binding on them, what do you expect from the common man? And if all of us start to say court judgments are not binding on us, are we not degenerating into anarchy? You know, if even they don't want to recognize the court judgment, I don't think the way and manner the Deputy Secretary said it should be the way, it should be the approach. There are several ways to say one thing
without saying anything.
You understand? For him to say a court judgment, a judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction that is not binding on them, calls for concern. You know, such brazen statements are what has brought Nigeria to where it is today, when people don't look at the books and just come out to say this and that and that. And when the rippling effects start coming, we will suffer it. I don't think that statement was right in its entirety. That's my personal opinion, though. And I don't think it's the right thing to say. Secondly, you know, there are party hierarchies and there are roles and responsibilities assigned to party leaders. And I don't think that the Deputy Secretary, he stands or has that impetus or whatever to make such statements. There are people that are designated to make such statements. Let's just say that he's just saying it as a person. It's not the party speaking, because if the party will speak, the National Publicity Secretary will address the nation. So let's just wave it away as one of those statements that are not from the party. Because if it's actually from the party, it calls for a serious concern.
Well, you recall that this statement came out from the National Deputy Secretary after they had their NWC closed door emergency meeting. Now, let's look at the merit of...
Sorry, there are channels of communication. That's what I'm trying to...
You're saying that it is not the publicity secretary.
It's not the publicity secretary.
Right.
So let's just assume. You know, politicians, they can just do anything. They will just say one thing, and another person can come out, the real person can come out to say, no, that's not what we meant. He is just, that is his own imagination. Let's just feel it's just his own imagination. That is not the real position of the party.
Okay, but still dwelling on that conversation, you know, he came out to say that they were not party to the suits, so it cannot be binding on them. When you look at it critically, one may argue probably they're actually making sense in what they are saying. Because
what sense are they? What sense are they making?
I'm trying to build up something so you can respond to it appropriately.
Okay.
Now, there is a court case, correct? And according to APC National, the court case was against the Tony Okocha-led caretaker committee in Rivers State, the national president, and the national party chairman, and the national party secretary, and not APC as a party. You understand?
Can I respond?
And not the national working committee of the APC, but individuals. And they are saying who
are those individuals? Who are they representing?
Hold on.
You know, when we don't want to obey the laws, we begin to rigmarole around. We want to show that we are smart. The national chairman, as I'm concerned, is the man that runs the affairs of the party. They didn't take him to court.
It is the national working committee that runs the affairs, not the national chairman.
He is. Others work with him. He pilots the affairs of the party. They didn't take him to court on his person as Ganduje. They took him to court because he's the national chairman of what? Please answer me. Of the party. Hold on. Is it not?
When you take me to court as an individual, or let's say for example,
it wasn't on individual grounds. That's what I'm trying to explain. The man, he is the national chairman of the party, and he presided over the meeting that dissolved these people. So if I'm taking him to court, on which basis am I taking him to court? Am I taking him to court on his personal grounds? I'm not taking him. Anyway, I'm not party to the suit, so I will not know. But I know he was taken to court on the grounds that he is the national chairman of APC, not as a former governor of Kano State.
And the national secretary as well.
Yes, and the national secretary. Now you have said it, as the national secretary, not as a person.
Now, the thing is, there is a difference between an individual and an institution.
Now they're saying that in that case, the judgment that was given, was APC not mentioned?
The judgment, that's why they are reacting to it.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Hold on. You know the court.
Can the
court grant you prayers that you didn't make to it? That's one question. The court only grants the prayers you've made to it.
Yeah.
Now, they made a prayer questioning their removal, their sack from office, and the inauguration and institution of the CTC, the caretaker committee. But then, in their suit, they did not sue APC as a body. It was individuals. Now APC is now coming out to remove themselves. Because when you look at it critically, suing an individual or individuals of an organization doesn't mean that you have sued the organization. That's a fact. It's just that probably somebody coming to sue me as an individual. I'm a staff of ATN. That doesn't mean you have sued ATN. So whatever is the fallout of that particular suit, I will bear the consequences.
If it's a personal issue you have with someone, and the person is suing you, it's a different ball game. But if they sue you on the basis of what you're doing for ATN, definitely ATN will be part of it.
No, they are not part of it because they are not included. I am the
no,
person.
if you are sued as a person outside ATN, there is no way they will sue the national chairman of APC. Sue the secretary of APC. And APC will not be mentioned in that suit. That's where I'm going to.
All right. But then we'll still fingers crossed because it's a developing story.
Yeah, I think when we see the CTC, when we see the certified true copy of the judgment, we will know
the respondents. Of course.
Yeah.
Now, they also mentioned another aspect that is quite important that we cannot sweep under the carpet. And that's the fact that there was already a judgment, from another court ruling, and they appealed the judgment, and that judgment has not been vacated yet. That judgment has not been vacated yet, and they now went to another court.
When you want to kill a dog, you call him.
You give it a name.
You give it several names. I've also heard from the Beke fashion that the court judgment they are referring to, was he given in heaven? That there was no such court judgment. And if what they are saying is actually true,
they should appeal it.
They should appeal it. They should let them appeal this too.
This judgment, they should appeal it and then await
the other.
As they are expecting Emeke to await their one.